Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
I mean the brother out here to teach the downfall of America, to tell the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, alright, the truth of the Bible, the nationality. But before we get started, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Maharakah, Kadash.
Alright, double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, alright, sincere brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Alright, so another live lesson, meaning the brother out here.
Should be a quick one, man. We just wanted to touch on brother just got out of work, long shift. I was off today, so I had some free time. Usually we both be getting off this late. But I wanted to get into wars, rumors of wars, man. We're gonna be quick. Just gonna touch on it because we know we're getting closer and closer to World War III, and it's actually being spoken about with all nations right now. I'm gonna get into the fact that it says, article came out today on NBC News. North Korean troops have been sent to Russia, U.S. confirms. Now, I'm going to explain this. This is the first time that a foreign, another country, another world power jumped into the actual war. Most of the countries have been supporting by just sending arms, ammunition, money, and resources, right? But just recently, as of today, well, actually probably I think as of this week was going on, North Korea has actually sent, I believe it was 100,000 troops, but I'm going to read a little bit into the article, right? And what this actually means, for future prophecy or prophecy to come.
Alright, so
I'm preaching right now. I'm calling you right back.
let's see.
I got you.
This is
Bar. I got you. Let me, before you get that, let me just get into this. Slakia. It says Seoul, South Korea. This is Seoul speaking about North Korea. It says Seoul, South Korea, speaking about North Korea, has sent troops to Russia. The United States said Wednesday its first public confirmation of a move that has rattled Western allies and could mark a major escalation of Moscow's war in Ukraine. There is evidence of the DPRK troops in Russia. A defense secretary, Lloyd Austin, told reporters in Rome, using the abbreviation for North Korea's formal name, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. What exactly they are doing is left to be seen, Austin said, adding, "We're trying to gain better fidelity on it. It's a serious issue," he said. If North Korea's intention is to participate in the war on Russia's behalf, his comments came after South Korea and Ukraine sounded an alarm in recent days, sharing intelligence and voicing dissatisfaction with what they see as a lack of urgency in the response from the U.S. and other Western countries. It says the reclusive nature of Kremlin and Kim Jong-un's regime mean that observers have poured over social media video and satellite images in search of confirmation that Russia is deploying the troops to Ukraine, in what would be a dramatic new step in the burgeoning alliance between Moscow and North Korea. South Korea lawmakers said Wednesday that North Korea has sent 3,000 troops to Russia out of the promised 10,000 to be deployed by December. That is twice the 1,500 that the South Korean intelligence agencies have reported since last week. On Tuesday, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said that the two units of North Korean troops with as many as 6,000 people each were being trained for deployment. This is a challenge, but we know how to respond to this challenge. It is important that partners do not hide from these challenges as well, he said in his nightly video address. Actually, I don't got to keep reading more of that. At the end of the day, right? I'll get that Magog and Gog.
Yeah, got it right.
Yeah, get that Magog and Gog. Now, this right here, like I said, this is the first other superpower joining the war. So they promised 10,000 troops, right? They were already sending money, ammunition, weapons, missiles, but now they're actually sending troops. Whatever treaty Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin have come to grips with is going to rattle the Western world. Because at the end of the day, North Korea is a nuclear power. Let's be very, and mind you, North Korea has already threatened South Korea, said if South Korea intervenes, they will nuke places in South Korea. Now, you already know Kim Jong-un up there with his dictatorship don't give a flying fuck. You also got to understand that all the kings of the earth are governed by the Lord. The Lord controls the hearts of the kings, right? I'm paraphrasing right now. So right now what's happening is the Lord is stirring the pot, right? First it was proxy wars. First it was just sending ammunition and money, resources to keep the war efforts going, right? And now, because of the death toll, which they don't really like to talk about, the death toll, Vladimir Putin has requested troops, and North Korea has what? Has come to their aid.
Delivered.
Now, mind you, now you got to think about it. Now, mind you, North Korea, I believe, is going to end up joining BRICS at this point. I don't think are they part of BRICS right now?
I think I just saw.
They just joined?
I think I just saw an article saying that they were initiated.
They were initiated, so they're getting ready to join BRICS. And this is probably why they sent troops. They're looking at a new world regime, a new world order. So you have two factions of new world orders trying to be established. Two, right? Russia and its allies, Magog and Gog, China and all of them, and all the bands, which we're going to bring out. And then you got the Western powers, the Edomite empires, right? Trying to fight for, to keep their power, fight for their kingdom of heaven, fight for their new world order, all right, if you will. So the brother going to bring it out.
This is Ezekiel 38, starting from the top. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord thy God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Now, if you look up Magog and Gog, Magog, I already know where it is.
Yeah, like Gog is the people and Magog the land.
Exactly,
Yep.
Magog and Gog.
Magog is the land of Gog, if you will.
Yep, come on. Give me 1 second, bro. Magog and Gog. I'm just trying to see. Now, the lands of Magog and Gog, I'm just going to paraphrase it because I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find the actual, like, in the Hebrew, it says Gog is a prince from the land of Magog who invades Israel and coalition, sends natural disasters. Well, look, the lands of Magog, matter of fact, right here. Right here. Look, the pictures. The prophesized invaders. Now, mind you, this is up near Turkey, Russia.
Yeah.
Turkey, Russia, Asia. Mind you, that's all Asia. Asia Minor. That's all in Asia, right? So, mind you, Magog and Gog was talking about Russia, China, and its armies, right? Russia, China, and the other allied armies, right? And it says that the Lord, what the Lord just said is, put thy face against Magog and Gog, meaning these are still enemies of Israel as well. But the Lord is going to put hooks into thy jaw, meaning turn them back into that old Soviet-like superpower, that war machine. Because remember, Russia was originally Soviet Union, and they were known for their war machine. Actually, they were supposed to win World War II. I think they were supposed to win World War II. The Soviet Union would have won if America didn't actually enter into the war. Right? That's a whole nother, I don't want to get too far into that, but that is the history on that. So go ahead.
And it says, it says, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, right? So Pete, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, right? But when you go into it, when you Google, all right, so look.
1 second. Before you read that, I'm going to read this. Magog and Gog today. This is exactly what it says. His Gog and Magog are figures from the Bible that are often used to describe a war that will take place in the end of times. In modern times, speculation about the Gog and Magog has centered around Russia and China, and some believe that the war of Gog and Magog could be imminent. Now, mind you, so we understand that this is talking about what? Russia and China coming together, which established BRICS, because as the brother keeps reading, it's going to tell you about the other nations that have joined hands with them. This is the beginning of World War III. These are those bands and armies that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to use to decimate his enemies before he comes and decimate everybody else. Go ahead.
So it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. When you go and you just do a quick search of what countries want to join BRICS, right? So we already know BRICS is comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China, right? In South America. But it says Persia, Libya, Ethiopia. We already know that Persia is modern day Iran.
Yep.
And Iran wants to join BRICS.
And then all of the Middle East are all coming together against Israel, the fake Israel.
Yep. But look, so when you Google it, it says the group invited opens a new tab Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE.
And the UAE.
But it matches with the scriptures because it says Persia, which would be Iran,
Uh-huh.
Ethiopia, and Libya. Which Libya you could kind of
African countries.
you could assimilate that
Now,
with Egypt.
No, and also African
Yep.
countries. Now, and the reason why I say African countries, what has Russia and China already been doing in Africa?
Yep.
They've been stabilizing all of Africa. Have reportedly pledged billions of dollars to build up their infrastructure and their energy systems without anything in return other than friendship and future trade.
Yep.
So they're setting the tone for a great regime.
Shalom, Moses.
Shalom, Moses, shalom.
Yeah.
All right, so understand that the Lord is moving all these pieces, man. And all these nations are starting to befriend Russia and China. Look at North Korea, who don't fucking like nobody. And they over here like, I got you. Fuck them. I hate America. You know what? I like Trump, because remember, Trump was the only one, the first one to cross over the border in like history in the past, what, I don't know, 2 decades or something like that, right? So they like Trump, but they don't like America. All right, so go ahead.
Ezekiel 38:6. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarma of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
And be a guard unto them. So Russia and China are emboldening these smaller nations, right? They're emboldening, right? I believe Israel was talking about bombing an Iranian, it was an Iranian nuclear silos. And then Russia straight told Israel, if you go ahead and touch their shit, we gonna bomb you. Russia straight said that directly. So Russia is being a defense unto the smaller nations.
Yeah.
They're being a defense. They're like, yo, if you go ahead and bomb their nuclear site and their nuclear plants, we're going to come bomb you. Keep playing with us, right? This is literally what we see going on. So the Lord is stirring up prophecy. Salakia. What's going on, brother?
Hey,
What's up, man?
How you?
no, you got 30 minutes. Sorry about that.
Now, to get back to it. So the Lord is controlling the hearts of the kings and basically stirring us up for World War III. But also, what does that indicate? That means that Yahweh Shai is on his way back. Because remember that the end-all be-all is going to be in the land of Syria, right? The Valley of Jehoshaphat is in the Middle East, right? It says, one of the prophecies is Syria shall be a heap. Now, it's already war-torn because of all the proxy wars. And in the future, because of the World War III is going to be taking place in that land and in that area, guess what? It's going to be utterly destroyed. Not to mention, Yahweh Shai cracks the sky and comes back with his entire armada. Remember, it says that he is going to go fight the world's armies by himself. So they're going to be utterly decimated. So Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, is using bricks, Magog and Gog, right? And its bands to what? To basically pass judgment on the Lord's enemies, even though they are part of the Lord's enemies as well, because all nations are the Lord's enemies.
Right, but the Most High controls
but
everything.
but the Most High is going to use them because this is prophecy. The Most High is going to use them to fight against the great sword, right? And that great sword is Esau, Edom, and its empire. And mind you, its empire it spans from Australia, the Western Hemisphere, Europe, North Africa, parts of South Africa, and Israel. And also in North America. Also in North America and Canada, which is all part of North America. Canada is technically not, but you know what I mean. So the Lord is going to use that. That's why the scriptures talk about, get that, spare no arrows. And the scriptures talk about this, right? The scriptures talk about the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the end-all be-all war that Yahweh Shai is going to handle himself. And then it also talks about the ICBM nuclear missiles that are going to hit this place, right? It talks about that fire, that blowing wind, right? It says what's going to happen to the people, that their eyes shall consume away in their holes, man. All right? The brother's going to grab, I think
This is-
Joel.
I got Joel.
All right,
too.
yeah, go to Jeremiah first.
It's Jeremiah 50.
Yeah.
Yep. And I will start at, let's just get the point. It says 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord.
Now, mind you, this is a future prophecy that's coming sooner than we believe. Because what? the first step to a global war is in full effect. I just read in the article where they just said that Ukraine and the Ukrainian president basically said to the West, "Yo, what y'all doing? Why y'all not having more urgency about what's happening right now? Y'all supposed to be helping us out." Guess what? We all know that if America joins the war directly, it's over. Because now America will be on wars on so many fronts. They'll be fighting wars in Israel against the Middle East. They're going to be fighting wars in Taiwan against the Chinese, right? They're going to be fighting wars in America. Mind you, it's going to be civil war plus nuclear war, right? They're going to be spread out. The army, mind you, just like the Roman Empire. How did the Roman Empire fall? Because their armies were too spread out and it was nothing but lawlessness in their country, right? And what I mean by lawlessness, if you look up the history of how Rome fell, the armies were spread out too far. The empire is starting to grow too far. Then women were compassing a man, meaning there was a lot of abominable things going on. I'm not going to say too much to get this strike, but just know men were being women and women were being men. This also happened in Rome, right? The Roman Empire. This is literally what was going on in the Roman Empire before it fell, right? They say if you want to see a nation, if you want to see the strength of a nation, look at their women. At that time in Rome, their women were compassing a man. The men were becoming very feminine, right? There was a lot of plays and a lot of other stuff going on, all right? Now look at America now, which is Great Babylon, Rome, and all the wicked kingdoms rolled into one. What do you see going on? The armies are too spread out. The Navy, all branches of the army all branches of the military have not been able to recruit enough soldiers to fill their void, which is also going to turn into a draft, because that's coming too. Don't think that's not coming. They're gonna figure out how to get you people, because they know you Gen Zs don't want to join war. They know that the millennials ain't having it. They know the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that have woken up are not going to fight in a white man's war. So they understand that, yo, we got to force these people in. How are they going to do it? Now I'm going to jog your memory. They've been laying siege unto America for the past almost 5 years now. Since 2020, they've been laying siege, right? They've been fucking with the water supply, the food supply, the agriculture, and they've been starting wars in places where most of the world's agriculture and food come from, which is Ukraine and Russia. They're systematically, right, creating less jobs, more AI, more robotics, right? Think about it. Inflation in America is going completely high, but inflation, rent, groceries have all been starting to systematically just increase, just like the gas, right? But people's wages are staying the same. More and more people that I talk to, and this is keeping it 100, more and more people I talk to are complaining more and more about their bills. I'm seeing more and more people talk about consolidating, not eating out as much. Did you see how many clubs around the country are closing down? Why? Because the club culture is becoming asinine. It's becoming stupid. Why? Because people can't afford to go out and spend $1,000 on a couple bottles for the night, right? We're starting to see the poverty and homelessness percentages skyrocket. What happens when these things happen? What happens when there's no jobs, no food, no resources? We already know, we talk about 2 Ezra, the 15th and the 16th chapter. It literally says what's going to happen, right? That is civil war that's going to break out in America, right? The love of many shall wax cold. All of this is a domino effect of war. All of this is a domino effect of Yahweh Shem Yahushua controlling the hearts of the kings, man. All right? What you got? Yeah, I know you have more, right? Yeah, they sent 3,000 troops, brother, and they pledged 10,000. So they're saying that on with satellite images, there's over 6,000 troops that are already supposed to be there. Go ahead.
All right, Jeremiah 50:15. Shoot against her round about. She have given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down.
So look, it says her foundations are broken. Her foundations have fallen down. What does that mean? The defenses are down. Why? Because the civil war broke out. Trust me. Keep going.
For it is the vengeance of the Lord, take vengeance upon her, as she have done unto her. Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest.
So what? So what is the sower? Who is the sower and one who handles the sickle? That represents what? Commerce, industrialization, crops, stores. Guess what? That's why the Lord talked about the crashing of the fish gates, right? The crashing of the hills. The stock market's crashing, the economy crashing. Because of so much war torn and civil war going on because of lack of resources, guess what? The other nations are going to see America as weak. So the Lord is commanding these nations to what? All they that bend the bow. Shoot your arrows and spare none. And what are those arrows, the modern day arrows now, that are going to shoot from the ends of the earth? Those are ICBM nuclear missiles. And we're getting closer and closer to that now that we see North Korea joining the war. Go ahead.
It says, cut off the sower from Babylon, and him the hand of the sickle in the time of harvest. For the fear, this is for fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn away everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land.
Now, mind you, turn everyone to their people and flee to their own land. Now, mind you, if you go to 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, starting at 14, it actually breaks down why. It actually breaks down why people are fleeing to their own lands and going to their own people. Because there's going to be race wars going on. Everyone is going to be going into their own factions. Whites over here, blacks over here, Asians over here. Lord willing, that the spirit is on this so-called Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, that they're going to join hands with Jake. But I believe so, because they're in close proximity in hoods. I believe so. Now, maybe not over near the border. The Mexicans don't really like so-called black people, and a lot of them actually ain't part of our nation.
Right.
You also got to understand this. If you go over there to Mexico, don't think that a lot of them are European descent. They're Spaniards.
Even a lot of the ones you see here, I'm very questionable. And
you know the ones that are hit.
Salakia, if I'm wrong about this, but I'm very questionable about the real short ones you see all the time. They all look the same. They all like 5'1". The whole family 5'1".
Well, remember the Mexican shorty who's chocolate.
And we've seen Afro Mexicans.
We've seen Afro Mexicans. I'm talking about the pretty long hair, but that mocha color.
Or you can see the features.
You can see the features. But mind you, her family woke up to the fact that they were Israelites. She even has on her page tribe of Issachar, just like the John Lexi got the tribe of Asher on hers. I know a couple of women who are, I wouldn't say in the truth, but they know of the truth. Right? Go ahead.
2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Why the world? Because of World War III. Destabilization of all economies. Destabilization of resource, commerce, industrialization, imports, exports. All of these things are going to come to a halt because of great persecution and judgment by Yahweh Shemel Shah. Shalom, Arya. Shalom, Maki.
Well, bro.
My guy, man.
All right. This is for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Look, one people should stand up and fight against another. Now, mind you, go back to Jeremiah 50 and read that one part again. And it literally, right here in Jeremiah 50, it says that what? People are going to go to their own nations.
Jeremiah 50:16, and starting, it says, for fear of the oppressing sword.
For fear of war that's coming.
They shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land.
To their people and their own lands. Also territories. That goes into, like, people going to think, like, perfect example. If you go farther up northeast, there's a lot of Jewish people, right? It's a lot of Jewish and Indians, right? But they have zones. Like, you literally can go into a community, we'll see synagogues and Jewish temples and everything in one little area, right? And then as you go a little farther over, you're going to see nothing but Indians and Pakistanis all in one little area. Guess what? People are going to be divided. The Lord, remember, the Lord is the author of division. The Lord is going to be bringing division to this place. All your so-called white friends, all your so-called Asian friends and Arab friends and all these motherfuckers, bro, when shit hit the fan, they're going to say, fuck you. Trust and believe that. All right, now go back to 2 Ezra 15 and read that one part again about, and then keep going.
It says, for the sword, the destruction draweth nigh.
So because of the sword, remember, war is coming, is drawing closer. Same thing in Jeremiah 50. Go ahead.
And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Race wars. Go ahead.
For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and their course of their action shall stand in their power.
Wow, we just talked about this. War creates what? Turmoil. Creates a broken economy, right? Now, there's going to be one sector that are going to be making, the elites are making money off of war. They love war, right? The industrial complex loves war. But the people are the ones that suffer.
Yep.
The elites don't suffer. The people suffer. Because the people are nothing but what they call them? Walking body bags, man. walking meat racks, right? They're going to send them meat to war, right? And then guess what? Because of the lack of resources, there's going to be what? There's going to be sedition among men and invading one another, meaning they're going to be going around raping, robbing, pillaging, and they're going to be coming up with factions. You're going to be seeing gangs of people. You might see 20 Edomites with guns, and mind you, see Walking Dead when they make these little factions and shit. Now think about that on a larger scale. A larger scale. I'm talking war-torn the entire world. Because don't think, because war going to be breaking out in every country. But this is the end-all, be-all. This is where the ICB and nuclear missiles are going to hit. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians 15:17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Mind you. So think about the first purge, second purge. When the purge was going on, houses were destroyed. Buildings on fire, dead bodies scattered all over the floors, people doing all types of abominable things, raping men and women. Grape, Slovakia, grape juice, you know. These kind of things are going to be running rampant, right? People are going to be remember, the Lord says he created spirits for vengeance, right? That lay on sword strokes, that appease the one that sent him. And I'm paraphrasing right now. Guess what? The Lord is going to release a lot of demonic entities, right? On the left-hand side to go raise havoc. He's going to release these spirits, and these spirits are going to be getting busy inside of people and out, because there's going to be a lot of possession going on. Trust me, there will be a lot of possession going on. Go ahead.
Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
So for the lack of bread and great tribulation, we just talked about the crashing of the hills. We just talked about how there's been a great siege that's been going on to America since 2020, right? And that siege is going to be an implosion. Trust me. The invasion of I doubt that we'll be invaded by other countries. The invasion will be the ICB and nuclear missiles hitting, right? Because the scriptures talk about all that been the bow, spare no arrows, right? Shoot them from the ends of the earth. Why? Because they know that America is weak. America is spread on all these fronts, all these wars going on, and they're going to realize that so much bloodshed and so much drama and so much unnecessary death has happened. And guess what? Even America's allies are going to turn against them and shoot their arrows and get rid of this place. But at that very same time, Yahweh Shai is going to crack the sky, save his elect, the 1/3 and 144,000, right? At the same time that's going on, he's going to be waging war in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which I said earlier is where World War III will be taking place. So now that we got, like I said, North Korea joining the war, pledged 10,000 troops, sent 3,000, maybe 6,000 right now. That is the first precedence of another superpower joining the war effort. Now America has to do what? America has to retaliate or they will look weak. And what? Pride goes before destruction, right? Zelensky already asked the West, yo, what's going on? Y'all don't see these motherfuckers bringing troops down here? Y'all ain't gonna do nothing? America's like, shit. We already helping fucking Israel fight all the fucking sand niggas. Now we gotta sit here and deal with this shit now too. Fuck. Guess what? As soon as troops land in that area, World War III is guaranteed to start. And it's prophesied. It's like, all right, go ahead.
So this is Zephaniah 1, and I'll start at 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be a noise of the cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a crashing from the hills. Howl ye inhabitants of Metesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off.
So merchants, what are merchants? Merchants are people who what? Deliver goods and services via export or import. That means the economies will be destroyed. All the people who got all this money, the money is going to become worthless. That's why the scriptures even talk about your riches shall not save you in that day. Matter of fact,
it's in the same chapter.
Get it.
It's in the same chapter. I'm reading down.
Kana.
And it shall come to pass that at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and will punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil.
And what does that mean by the Lord will check back the candles? Remember the parable of the candle?
No.
Your spirit. The Lord is going to be checking those men who have that right spirit in them. The Lord is going to be checking for those who are actually prepared for the end. right? So you like-minded men are out here that are out here pushing this rock, man.
Saying the Lord will not do good nor evil. Basically saying the
And
Most High ain't going to do nothing
and
at
then,
all.
yeah, so
Yeah.
he's going to be checking the spirits to see who are on the right-hand side and who are on the left-hand side. And those who are lukewarm, the Lord ain't going to do shit. Those who thought he fell asleep on his throne, guess what? Those who said cut their bands asunder, Esau, and Esau and the rest of the world. They all don't have a healthy fear of Yahweh Shem Shah. But he's about to come and bring that healthy
It
fear.
says that pride is the destruction.
Yep.
Right? Pride comes before destruction.
Come on.
Right? You not having a fear of the Heavenly Father is just ultimately
Pride.
That's all it
It's
really
pride.
is.
Every morning I wake up, oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go ahead.
Zephaniah 1:13. Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof.
What do you see going on in most major cities right now? Industrialization. They're gentrifying everything. They're building new high rises, new casinos, new buildings. Right? People are arbitrage 100 properties in one building. They're getting ready to make more money. They see a future that's not to come.
They're selling renting versus owning now.
Exactly.
Nowadays, you got a new spin of people are trying to downplay homeowners.
Yep.
But in reality, all it is the people who are downplaying homeowners are the very people who own
All
properties,
the-
who
all the-
own all the rental properties.
Exactly.
So
Right.
it's a psychological system to keep people oppressed,
Con.
right? Keeping people basically all lumped up together
So, yep.
to make you even
Easier to control.
targets. Man.
Easier targets, right? And then you got to think all those people that own federal notes. You know those what's them Jones called? Them little pieces of paper that's worth a lot of money. Shares. All those people that own what? Silver. Shares. All those people that own shares. Guess what? When all the corporations crumble and the economy crumbles, what does your share worth? If the company is if Coca-Cola is no longer making fucking Pepsi and Coca-Cola, then what's the point of owning shares in Coca-Cola and Pepsi? It's worthless now.
Yeah.
This is what the Lord is talking about. Go ahead.
Keep going. It says, the day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly.
Uh-huh.
That day is a great day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress,
Mhm.
a day of wasteness and desolation.
Why does it say wasteness and desolation? Because so many people, remember, there's a great slaughter that's going to happen in Basra, right? AKA Esau, Edom, right? There are people before they're a place. But guess what? We know their place, right? There's going to be a great insurrection, a great slaughter on this place, man. Go ahead.
A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness.
Mhm.
A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung.
Now you got to understand that. So they will walk as blind men. You ever see a blind man staggering? Don't know where the fuck he going, don't know up from down, left from right. These people are going to be out of their minds with so much destruction and death. They're not going to be able to understand, like, oh, what should we do?
And I'm not blind, but I can only imagine if you see a man staggering, walking like this, I would assume that there's great fear amongst that man.
Yeah, great fear.
Great fear, because you don't know what you're going to run into, where you're going,
Great
if you're going to fall into a ditch.
Yep, great confusion. And then what does the Lord talk about judgment, man? Is that if a bear met him,
Yep.
right? Is that if a bear, mind you, that precept. There's going to be no getting away from the judgment that Yahweh Shem Shah is going to pass on this place. Right? At that time, the doors of repentance are closed. The Lord has already sealed the elect. Right? So guess what? By the Lord showing us great signs of North Korean troops, right, in the Russia-Ukraine war, that is the Lord co-signing us on the streets, man. The Lord is showing us signs following. That is, we're closer to World War III. That means we're closer to our salvation, man. We should be rejoicing right now.
The Apostle Gabar just did a lesson about that, saying like, going basically in response to the Apostle Tahar's video about the age of an empire is about 250 years.
Yep.
And when you do the math, if you coin America based on their independence, 1776,
1776.
it would equal 2026, which is about a year and a couple months from now. You know what I mean?
It's true.
You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
true.
all hopeful, but just based on the signs that was happening, it's not unlikely. This is the last one, Zephaniah 1:18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them at that day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all of them that dwell in the land.
He said it will make a speedy riddance. Now, what does the Lord says that in 1 hour? Right, speedy riddance. Remember that. The Lord said in a speedy riddance, he's going to get rid of these motherfuckers. And we're going to show you how fast the Lord's talking about.
This is Revelation 18 and 17. 16. And saying, alas, alas, that
Shalom,
great city
shalom.
that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
Now, purple and scarlet, purple, scarlet stands for royalty. Now, mind you, this is actually blue. The camera just showing it as purple. But it stands for royalty. So basically, the Lord is talking about a prestigious nation, right? One that rules at the top of the food chain, which we already know is that great whore that flew upon a dragon, a.k.a. America, a.k.a. Great Babylon, a.k.a. the most wickedest kingdom ever erected. Go ahead.
For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught.
So, and speedy riddance means within 1 hour, the Lord has brought those great riches that a great kingdom has been destroyed within an hour. So this empire has been around for 240 years.
If you want to really
If you
think
wanna-
about all of the empires that are that America is influenced by, or really reincarnated as, it's been thousands.
It's been thousands of years, right? Right? They've had time.
Yep.
When the Roman Empire was like 3,000 years, the Greek empires, that went on for, I think, maybe close to 1,000, maybe? I could be wrong with the math a little bit, but you gotta think, they've been ruling for thousands of years. This ain't just been, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, they don't, remember, Esau is a vagabond, meaning he's a drifter. He doesn't have an actual culture, so he assimilates and changes his form or
Right.
changes his name each generation that comes, right? Each couple of generations, he changes his name. That's like the Khazarian Empire. Khazar, Caesar, Roman Empire. Who are those people today? Right? The Ashkenazi, the Yiddish, Germanic language, that's all in that same era. Where was Khazaria at? Right next to Russia. Where did the Nazis do all, you know what, I ain't gonna get too deep because I don't want to get struck, but you can we already know this history. We can break this down real easy to know who the fuck the Lord's talking about. Right? Who's the wicked? But go ahead.
It says, for 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
Yeah, so mind you, all the merchant ships, remember, America is known as the biggest import country in the world, meaning we have ships coming in daily to bring in goods. We barely are an industrialized country anymore. We do not create almost anything anymore. We import everything. So guess what? These ships that are going to be far off around the country watching that great destruction happen. Watching in 1 hour how all these riches have come to naught. Right? First they heard about the implosion. Right? The civil wars breaking out in cities all around. We just read about that in 2 Ezra the 15th chapter. Right? We talked about that in Jeremiah the 50th chapter. Now we're talking about the wars that come and what great destruction that ICBM nuclear holocaust the Lord is bringing, man. That great slaughter, that great judgment, man, that's being passed. So, brethren, we should be rejoicing right now because the Lord is finally moving faster than we thought. Because just before, we was like, man, you know, they just keep talking about it. Every week, we just like, man, you heard they just sent more weapons. Yo, you heard they just talking about the missile silos. Hey, yo, I heard about
no
that.
action, yeah.
But now, we got another superpower joining the fray. America and its allies have to retaliate or they're going to look weak. They already pledged to what? Defend Israel and to defend what? Ukraine. So the Lord is like, look, I'm stirring it. Don't worry, Akim, go ahead. Just keep pushing. I'm stirring it. Right? I'm stirring it. Go, what you got? Get on. We're going to end with this. Fear none of those things. Whew.
This is Revelations 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
That's all we need to remember, man. We understand that our salvation is nearer than what we believe. We understand that the Lord says to start, as long as we stay faithful unto death, he shall give us a crown of life. And we all, you like-minded brethren, I know my brother Ariah, we want that 144,000 crown. I want to stand as a ruler. I want to be able to punish my slaves and live deliciously. Beyond my understanding and comprehension. I want to be able to go into different dimensions and freaking, I don't know, sleep. If I want to sleep for 100 years, what is 100 years? I want to go into a dream state. Whatever you could possibly think of, man. I want to go swimming with Leviathan. Right? We understand that as long as we stay faithful through the fearful times that are coming, because it's going to be a fearful time that's coming, brethren. Kinsmen, according to thy flesh. Right? It's going to be a great fearful time that's coming, but we understand this. The Lord's stirring all this up. So all those that abide in the shadow of the Almighty, the Yahweh Shem El Shai, and they endure unto the end, we ain't got to worry about it, man. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. We'll give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Harakat Badash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, and shalom to the elect. Shalom to the brethren on the comment boards.